You're listening to Your Worst Friend with Shane and Matt. I'm Matt, and I'm joined today by my friend and co-host, Shane.
Hi.
We have a very special guest with us today. I was scared we were not going to be able to fit her in the schedule for this season, and I pushed one of the greatest publicists in the world, Erica, like, please, let's get this going. She was booked for a scene the last week when we were supposed to have her, and I was like, oh, shit, can we not get her on this season? And Erica was like, I'll just fucking bother her until she agrees to do this thing, and that was really nice of her. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined today by Miss Penny Barber.
Hello.
Penny Barber. Thank you very much for being on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, right off the bat, let's do the basic questions and get them out of the way and introduce you to our audience. How did you initially get into the industry?
The tale as old as time. I was 18 and I needed money.
You needed money. Sure.
I did. It was the Wild West. You know, I was.
McDonald's wasn't hiring. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I'm lucky I'm not dead.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Backpage and Craigslist, right? At the time were.
Yeah.
Thing of the past now, but we did speak to somebody once though who I think did have a run-in that almost ended in disaster. Was that a Craigslist story, Matt? Was that a person from Craigslist that they were going to meet?
No, we can recount that story, but I'd as much as I pushed you to make sure you did your plugs, Shane, I just skipped over them. Go ahead, Shane.
I thought we were going to hit at the end.
Well, let me just do our plugs first. It's yourworstfriend.com, worstfriendcast on all social media. Check us out. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all of that. Shane, please go ahead.
Yeah, you can find my wife's OnlyFans at XX Goddamn. That's God with a GAH. You know, it's not God like the Christian one. And then go to Twitter, Kiki_Filipina_XO. But yeah, the idea, like, she's getting into the adult content market now. You know, we're in our 30s, but you said you did it at 18, and so Craigslist was an option, and that's the one you took.
Different time, yeah.
Sure.
Whew. Yeah.
Was there ways that you I mean, okay, can I ask, who was your first shoot with? Was it, or maybe your first mainstream shoot, or did it take a while to get you to your first mainstream shoot?
It was just like GWCs and like, you know, I don't know what I was thinking.
You were thinking, I'm hungry and I need food.
I need a place to stay. Yeah.
Right.
I was, but I should have been more cautious. I would not encourage anyone to do what I did. And it was a different time, you know, like it wasn't quite so open as it is now. You know, you still had to, it wasn't just anyone was on the internet. I guess anyone could have been on the internet.
Well, there must have been less options too, huh?
Sorry?
There must have been far fewer options for getting this opportunity, at least because there was no OnlyFans when you were 18, was there?
No, I mean, I was involved in some very early crowdfunding type things, you know, sort of proto OnlyFans was, did you guys ever hear of myfreeimplants.com?
No. Sounds awesome. And I want to contribute to it. Sure.
It's gone away forever now. It's dead. But, you know, at like, that's how I funded my breasts. You know, I don't even know if we called it crowdfunding, but it was very, very early crowdfunding. You know, I got to be on Playboy TV and I was ever so excited. But yeah, I started shooting with companies up in San Francisco. I just didn't want to go to LA, which now I think was a big mistake. I think I should have gone to fucking LA. But yeah,
why is that though? Is it because of the shoots in San Francisco were so poor, or because the ones in LA are so much better?
The ones in LA are, I mean, both. The shoots in LA are better. The people who are really serious about their careers go to LA. You know, why wouldn't you? And so there's some stuff kind of still up here, but you know, ever since kink.com kind of, you know, it died and now it's kind of come back in this sort of zombie form. You know, but even a lot of kink stuff isn't really up here in San Francisco anymore. The culture has sort of died and it's coming back a bit. You know, I don't want to just think that it's gone forever, but, you know, LA is just so much more professional in my experience. It's more beautiful. You know, when I go down there, I'll be working with these professional photographers with like 20 years of experience who create these gorgeous images and you know, take their craft very seriously. They're not just shooting like what gets them off. They're shooting, you know, what looks good. And so I have a lot more work that I'm just prouder of, you know?
Sure. So, well, you referenced kink.com. Everything I've read on you, I always like to do a lot of background research. That's my excuse to my wife for watching all your videos.
I'm sorry. They're gross. I'm so sorry.
No, you got not a lot of it, not necessarily my thing, but I make no judgments on what people are into. Well, there's some exceptions. I make judgment. Yeah, there for sure is. And I'm going to ask you about that later. But you did. So, okay, that's interesting. Early on in the process, one of our first interviews was with somebody with kink.com. Very famous, very popular with kink right now. And I'm wondering what you meant by the zombie form. What has changed with kink.com from where it was to where it is now? So our interview was with Charlotte.
Charlotte Charlotte? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she's one of, oh boy, well, I don't know what that looks.
She's a baby. I was like, you're talking about from back in the day. I'm like, what is she like? 22?
Well, see, that's the thing. That is my recollection of kink.com is kind of Charlotte directing scenes there now and doing this and that. What was it like back when you started, and what is different between that and the zombified version that it is now?
Charlotte was not there.
Right, for sure.
I don't think she was an adult. We were shooting with people like Lou Rubens and Shanta Rose and Peter himself. And, I know Matt Williams is coming back and he has some fun ideas, actually. Adore Matt, adore his wife, Dee. Very cool people. But that's so interesting because I think of Charlotte as being so new, For sure. Well, to be fair, again, kink.com wasn't one I was regularly going to personally. So that is my snapshot of it, having done that interview and talked to her and delved into more of these kinks and fetishes and everything like that. But are you just your first interview with Charlotte?
No, first interview of this season.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yes. It's
that's quite a first.
No, she's on my personal Mount Rushmore. She looks just like my wife, which I appreciate. There are many things, and we discussed that with Charlotte on the show. Hi. Yeah, exactly. My wife might like you more than me, so she does that. Probably. But what I'm wondering is, again, from kink that you knew to now, are you just saying people have turned over since then, or have they toned themselves down or toned themselves up, or
they've definitely toned themselves down a lot, which is not necessarily a problem. One of the things one of the stories from one of my earlier shoots there for what is it called? Electro Sluts? Something like that.
That was a band I was in high school, but yeah.
It was for their electricity website. I can't recall the exact name, so.
Sure. They would like shock you and stuff?
Yeah. And, the shocks really, really hurt. And, in the middle of it.
It's electricity.
It's a lot of electricity.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But in the middle of shooting, one of the things broke. And they're like, oh, well, we're just going to keep going. Just act like it hurts. And I was like, we could have done that the whole freaking
time. Wow. Oh, my God.
Because it was really, really painful. And, I am a masochist. I like pain to a degree, but so it was kind of like the worst parts of of the scene. And then you couldn't really get into subspace and sort of eroticize the pain because, you're stopping every 2 minutes and, you're not really doing a scene at that point. So they definitely tone themselves down, which in some ways I'm like, okay, it's a movie, you don't need to, it's a movie, whatever.
Right.
So that doesn't actually bother me. I know the really hardcore people are like, oh, it's all fake now. And I'm like, it's a film,
Sure.
If you can do things like, and one of the little tricks they would do to sort of tone down the cattle prod is instead of just putting all the batteries in it, they take like a little section of a dowel and like wrap it in aluminum foil. I've never done this myself, but that's what I was told. And then they'd use that and put that in there. So there was like less voltage going into you.
Cool.
And so, I'm all for them doing stuff like that. How has it changed in a zombie way? It's less glamorous, to be blunt. They used to be at all the awards shows and, spending all this money. And I guess they kind of realized, well, we don't have to do that. It doesn't make sales, which is true.
Okay.
But there is, part of me that likes to be very appreciated for my work. And these big, pageants, basically, of porn are part of that. And I felt like I kind of missed out on it. And I'm kind of like coming back into the scene now. And yeah, kink is not the same as it used to be. I don't think that people would feel the same way about walking around in a kink.com sweatshirt. I'd rather wear a deeper sweatshirt.
Sure.
at this point in time.
I read a book on the early days of HBO, and HBO for many years was losing money by dumping so much into it, but it was always about they never based their success on subscribers as much as they did the award shows, because the subscribers will come with the high-end, high-quality content. So there were a lot of times early on and around The Sopranos time and stuff like that at HBO when it was like, hey, we could cut this and make this cheaper. And they go, well, is that going to cost us an award? Well, maybe it'll give us less of a chance. No. Put the money into it, spend it. Yeah. And I'm not even necessarily saying it's the money issue, but it could be, in a sense,
It's making the good product, though.
But also, I wonder in today's society if maybe they're also, and maybe I'm wrong, I have no insight into this, more worried about scrutiny. Which again, we understand this is consulting adults. You are a masochist. You would enjoy the things they are doing to you. Maybe they didn't need to hit you with all that electricity. But at the same time, it does give a good billboard for someone somewhere to go, look at this abusing women. Oh my God, it's terrible. This is what the porn industry does,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, just because of, like you say, you want to appease people in advance, right? And there's already so much oversight in regular films about safety and protocol. Like look at a movie like The Raid. It's a martial arts film.
I know what The Raid is.
Oh, okay, cool. So
I don't. That movie. Yeah.
Those dudes beat the shit out of each other in that movie.
And they're fighters, first, and actors kind of second.
Sure, but a lot of those stunts would never have been allowed on an American set. There's physical contact happening. Yeah. Like
I didn't know that.
There's definitely ways you could do them in American movies, but they wouldn't have looked as realistic as they did in that Indonesian movie. I'm almost certain that the guy who made the movie, he's either a Canadian or an American. I think he went there to make it specifically to get around like film restrictions. So my point is, I'm just shocked there hasn't been some sort of massive oversight in the adult film industry too. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that. I know that there's certain things you legally can't show, or sell as adult content, but like, you can't hit your actors on a film set. Like you can't. You can't. Right. You can't tell Brad Pitt to punch Leo for real. But in adult films, you can do things that you couldn't do with regular films,
which we're not advocating for, by the way.
Sure,
I don't.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, we're not saying Brad Pitt should punch anybody.
Oh no, I'm okay with that. I'm saying I don't want as much regulation in porn. I want safety. I think that's fine, but
I like safety. But
regulation. Hey, look, if Penny wants to get the shit beat out of her with a caning thing, let her do it. I'm okay with that.
There are legal concerns, like you can't consent to assault. Like you just can't.
Sure.
What is the definition of assault, though?
Oh, I know. Now you're sounding like a lawyer. So there are certain things that you can and can't do. It's mostly determined right now by the credit card companies, which is terrifying. That a private company, which is basically New World Cash,
sure,
is making these determinations. It's kind of scary. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it, because I do think that you can go too far, and you do have girls who will come on set and be like, oh, well, I felt like I had to do it to get paid. And they're kind of right. Cause I'm like, that's the shoot, like,
right.
And we've all heard horror stories.
Sure.
I don't have any yet. Thank God.
Thank God.
Well, a big part of it too in avoiding the horror story, shouldn't it be like, that the only way to get paid is to do the shoot, but you should know exactly what you're getting into before you show up on set, right? Like that should all be laid out for you. So
you do and you don't. Most of the negotiation takes place like immediately before you shoot, and it kind of depends. Wow. It kind of depends. Like I just did a shoot for Adult Time where they just really made sure they're like, "Are you okay with pee?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. You can pee all over me. I'll brush my teeth with it. I don't care. Yeah, sure." And then
all the right things for me.
And then I got there, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to do the thing now." And they had the girl turn around, and they handed her a douche with water in it, and they're like, "Okay, squeeze this in." And I was like, they went over it so much. couch. And I was like, oh, I thought she was going to pee. And she was like, well, she doesn't have to, we can just do it this way. And I was like, all right, then, like,
that,
okay. Because I didn't mind. I was like into it, just a cute girl, but
my that's always been my scrutiny about the adult industry is from doing these interviews and hearing we've talked to some of the biggest names and this and that is I've never understood why. And maybe it's a both sides thing. Maybe it's sometimes the performers are unreliable and sometimes the studios are. But I've seen stories of, this girl getting on the plane, flying somewhere, you guys paying your travel up front. Some of you. Now, again, maybe that depends on level, I assume.
Right.
Paying travel up front, getting there, booking your own hotel, being told you'll pay all of, you'll be what is the term I'm looking for?
Reimbursed.
Reimbursed. I want to say redeemed. Reimbursed for all of that. And then scenes canceled. Never mind. We don't pay a kill fee. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. But you're fucked. You're out of luck. To me, if I'm a girl, and trust me, I wouldn't make a pretty one. I would definitely have to do BBW fetish.
Look better.
Anyway, thanks, sweetie.
I like big girls.
Yeah. Well, not this big. Anyway, I would want this. I would want personally, and again, you tell me if this is ridiculous. And if I had a track record of always showing up, I don't cancel. Right? Put in a contract. You're going to cover this. You're going to cover this. Not cover it. You're going to buy my plane ticket. You're going to send me my reservation for the hotel time. And I want a detailed itinerary of everything we will do on set that day. We're doing double anal. We're doing facial at the end. We're doing this,
Hell
that.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to make grimaces. It's what I like as a pretty beautiful big woman. Anyway.
You're pretty demanding, man. I just want someone to come to my house and fuck me in the ass.
Is it ridiculous to say maybe we could have a little more back and forth in terms of responsibility from the people? And this obviously falls more on the content creators themselves, like the mainstream studios. Hey, this is all laid out. This is taken care of for you. If you don't show up, we'll probably not work with you again. And fuck it, we might sue you. Who knows? Maybe nothing will come out of it, but we might sue you. So make sure you show up on time. You get on the plane, you get in their hotel, and you're ready to shoot.
It is a risk, like I produce content and I also appear in content. So, sure. You never know if an actor is going to follow through. But I think that one of the ways to make sure that they are going to follow through is to have a really great working environment and to treat them well. And I do think that it creates, a sense of obligation for some people. And I don't know. On the one hand, I feel like, well, that's the cost of doing business. If like one girl in 50 doesn't show up to her call time, or the boys too. I'm sorry, sure. I always like default because I'm a lady.
Sure. Me too.
But like if someone doesn't show up, well, that's the cost of doing business. I've been out and flown out places, and I don't pay for my own flights. But I've flown out places and something happens and we can't shoot. And, thank God for OnlyFans, because otherwise, I've wasted that day. That money's not coming back.
Sure.
I've got to do something. I don't have a lot of the things that people who have, straight jobs have. I don't have like 401k matching. I have to pay for my own health insurance.
You don't have PTO, personal time off, right? Where you get paid for those days off, right?
No.
You're an independent contractor, essentially.
Yes. So yeah, it's nice if you can get people to pay for it. I've started being a little more proactive, let's say, in asking who else is going to be on set. Like I used to just kind of get booked, and I'm like, well, what about this guy? What about that guy? What about this girl? Just because on the one hand, I want to work with people I like, but on the other hand, I also understand that the company that's booking me isn't going to want to book me with like the same 5 people over and over and over again.
Right.
So it's
70% the same scene at that point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Right. How would you vet somebody new that you'd be working with, or would you not vet them, or is it a gut feeling when you meet them, or,
So normally, yeah, I'll look at their social media and stuff, and, people talk.
Sure.
I might have heard something. Oh God. I just had it's not really quite a horror story, but I did just have my first scene where the guy just wasn't listening to me, and it was utterly bizarre. It never happened to me. I've been doing this for like 20 years. It had never happened to me before.
And you behind or in front of the camera for this?
In front.
Okay.
Can you imagine if you're going down on a woman and she says, "Can you do this instead of that?" and you just said no?
Wow.
I didn't know man could do that. I was like, is he allowed? Just, what?
Yeah, I didn't think that was allowed. Now, this is on set filming, and you're the performer.
Yeah, I was performing, and I was just like, can you? He kept licking my urethra, and I was not loving that as much as I like a UTI. I was like, could you lick my clit instead? Like, it's I tried to make it all cute. Like, oh, it's right here, and tried to be sexy about it because I don't want him to like lose his erection or anything. And I like to have my. I don't know if we're allowed to say clit here, but I also just said
you can say whatever the fuck you
say
want.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Totally fine.
Lovely.
Yeah. The internet's the Wild West still, so go ahead.
Well, I prefer to have my clitoris licked than my urethra.
Sure.
As you do, yeah. And what was his response? Did he just flat out say no?
He said no.
No, I'd rather lick your pee hole.
Yeah. And it was over and over again, like the whole scene. Like he wasn't kissing me. Like he kept licking my chin.
Okay, that's just weird. That's like
I didn't think it was sexy. And so I like held his face and like started, kissing his mouth.
Sure.
Crazy idea.
Yeah, imagine that.
And so he's like, no, I really like you, so I want to do this. And then went back to licking my chin, and I was just like, okay, And the director kept pulling me aside. He's like, are you okay? And I was, I was fine,
Yeah, you didn't feel you were in danger.
Was he losing his virginity to you?
Yeah, was that the scene? Wait. Were you not understanding the concept of the scene? He was an 18-year-old boy. He was playing in this, and he just had left Mormon camp, and this was the first time. No,
he just left gay conversion camp. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I wish.
Or can I say this? We've told. Well, it's not going to be sexy. You don't have to do that. But is it that? However, he was licking your urethra was potentially more aesthetically pleasing to camera, because we've heard plenty of times that porn
doesn't excuse the chin licking.
No, that's like
that's disgraceful.
I went through 6 different things that were all too offensive to say about somebody licking a chin, but let's put it, not the smartest person in the world. I'll just put it that way.
That was a thought I had. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, not all the chromosomes in order. I understand. But how was his dick, though? Let's be honest. Was it okay?
Does it matter at this point?
Yeah, let's put it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. But he ruined himself. He was a pretty guy, but he ruined himself, and I was just like, okay. He didn't seem to like female pleasure. He didn't seem to know how to eat pussy. I mean, and you know what? Let's say that it. Whatever, I'm just going to say it. No, I don't think it was more aesthetically pleasing. Do you prefer to watch men licking urethras than clitoris?
Dude, I don't know where the clit is. Okay, I've thought it was a myth all of my life, so I can't tell you what I think of that. But
and that's the wrong question to ask a guy with a pee fetish.
Yeah, no. Shane has, so. Okay, all right. Now here's the thing. I'm not asking you to identify the person, obviously, or the site, obviously. But have you seen the final product yet, or is it not out yet?
No, it's not. It isn't out yet.
Okay, I will be checking for that, by the way. Good. I'm going to be checking the index.com every time you put out a new scene. Okay,
is it this guy? Is it this guy? Yeah. No, but what I was trying to say about it is, it wasn't a great day on set for me, right? But the director was being like, are you okay? And 2 different crew members came over to me, and they're like, it looks kind of rough out there. I'm like, do you want to say something to the director? And I could have ended the scene, or I could have just been like, well, I guess my chin is getting licked a lot today, and just kind of suck it up, get paid, and go home. Because if I call the scene, no, I don't get paid. And honestly, I don't I kind of get it, as a business owner, it's very tempting to not waste the 10, 20, however many thousands of dollars they've spent on everything else for the shoot, just because some model is being fussy about getting her chin licked. So
sure, yeah, and it's you can always make the same comparison to regular film, right? Like if you have a bad actor on set, are you going to cancel production just because he is the standout bad portion of the scene? It's like, if you got to get the scene done, you got to get it done. Everybody's here. I guess this scene is going to have one bad performance, but let's try and focus on the whole. And that's the whole.
That was the problem. He was focusing on the whole,
the wrong hole. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but that shows your professionalism. That
I hope so.
Yeah, that you're cognizant of